Hi class, my name is Seth, and for my final presentation I'm going to be talking about bribery and corruption within the college admission. So what's happening? In the last 10 years accumulative, there's been a scandal recently uncovered of illegal schemes for gaining entry to universities. In the most common form of this, it deals with charitable donations used as cover for bribery. The effective colleges are quite a few actually Ivy League higher class schools, which include Yale, Harvard, Stanford, UCLA, and Georgetown University. The crimes included racketeering, wire fraud, money laundering, honest services wire fraud, which these actually all entail very minor punishments. For the most common form, which was bribery through charitable donations, about 40 to 50% of all of those accused were accused under that crime. It only led to about 1 year in prison and only a fine of $50,000, which that fine of $50,000 does not seem much compared to the hundreds of thousands, potentially millions on a few accounts that parents were paying these college admission and coaches and directors to get their students into those schools. Um, those that were accepting the bribes and channeling the funds included college directors, coaches. One coach was from Stanford and he was the boating coach. And college admission boards are the main people that were taking the bribes. Government legislators and college officials must work together on this matter. If both don't work together for legislations, then um, all plans could fall easily through the cracks. Sustainability impact, it's affecting credibility and public confidence. In light of these recent scandals, it's really showing that there's some credibility and corruption issues behind the scenes of all these financial transactions for getting students into school. There's a void of trust. That goes hand in hand with public confidence. It's creating trust problems between the American consumers and people seeking higher education and the state colleges. It shows that even high class universities have corruption. I mean, the different high class universities were Stanford, there was Yale, there was Harvard. So it's very evident in every single one of these colleges of these recent scandals that have been happening. And it's really turning college into a business. It shows you that there's people out there that are using students and wealthy parents for a means of profit because they have leverage of working or having ties to these schools and have ways of getting these students in. It shows that they're really using their power to gain money to their own advantage. In the table I have attached in my PowerPoint, you can show that it's a confidence in higher education is declining. That's actually among both political parties, both Republicans and Democrats, and also independents all have decreased confidence in the last 3 years. This is actually last year's graph from 2018 to 2015. Um, and U.S. adults, percent change was 9%, and shown from the table that Republicans had the hugest decline in confidence. So it's really showing you how recent light of events and the rising, surging costs of tuition are really making people be less confident and they believe in credibility behind the colleges. The ethical dilemma is there's unqualified students. This is potentially ousting students that have qualifications from getting these spots that they deserve. They've worked hard. They work through high school to keep their GPA up, and then recruiters look to them. But those spots may be filled by somebody who can bribe with extra leverage, such as like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's definitely showing an advantage to wealthy families in this scenario. Students are being seen as profits and not opportunities. That's the main ethical problem here. Um, these kinds of role models should be looking to help students and help them pursue their goals to get them where they want to be, but instead they're seeing students as a funnel for profits. And it's really unfair to qualified students that they would have to spend that much time working hard to get into a school that they've really been wanting to get into for years, only to have somebody with a lot of money be able to get in without little to no effort. So some possible routes of action here would be to close charitable donations loophole, such as accepting bribes and, for instance, taking hundreds of thousands of dollars as a bribe. and then having those people funnel those funds through through charities that the receivers are hosting. We can also double verify student qualifications, whether that be a second entity within the college directive boards to verify that those students actually are qualified to enter the school. Um, and then a major thing could be to hold directors of colleges accountable. I mean, there's really little to no reason as to why these scandals haven't been found out sooner by the directors. I mean, that could show that maybe they're in on all the scandals, but I mean, only time will tell through court trials and things alike to see what really is the cause here. Um, Larger punishments for crimes associated, like I stated earlier in the video, for the bribery, it's often only a year in prison and a $55,000 fine on briberies that usually are like 10 times the amount that those bribes cost. So for the discussion, should charitable donations not be allowed for university staff and college admission businesses to close that loophole? What is your recommendation for stopping bribery and unethical practices? And would stronger punishments deter these actions? And here's my list of references I used for my presentation. And thank you, class, and I hope you guys have a good day.